Hi, my name is Blair Stires. I'm with Job Korea News, and you are Mr. Matt Reeves?
Yes.
Yes. Here to ask you a few questions. I heard your speech earlier today and everything that you're going to touch on, but I just wanted to know how directly are you going to help and influence the Korean community?
Good question. The 48 State Senate District in Duluth and Berkeley Lake, Peachtree Corners, Suwanee, Lawrenceville, and Johns Creek has many Korean Americans. Definitely this part of Northeast Atlanta is the home to the Korean American community. So I think by helping our area get its needs met down at the state capitol, that's going to have a direct impact on the quality of life for Korean American community in Atlanta, whether it's schools, whether it's traffic, public safety, healthcare. Those are things that are going to affect the home and the pocketbooks of Korean Americans in positive ways. Also, I know that Korean Americans, we heard it tonight, want to be more connected to government in Georgia at the local level, at the state level. I want to be that person in the Georgia State Senate who will bring Korean Americans a seat at the table when important decisions are made. I will be in touch with the Korean American community as a state senator, just as I have been as a candidate, and make sure that the perspectives of Korean Americans are advocated clearly at the Georgia State Capitol and the majority Republican Senate caucus. To people like Butch Miller, the President Pro Tem, who's from Gainesville, a good friend of mine. Bill Cowser, who's state senator from Athens, where I went to law school at UGA. John Kennedy down in Macon. I went to college at Mercer. John Wilkinson, Jeff Mullis, who's the rules chair, on and on from there. Many leaders in the Senate are people who I've made friends with, and I will persuade them to govern in a way that will help Korean Americans' quality of life here in Atlanta.
Okay, yeah. So can you kind of go over the main points that you kind of addressed in your speech before?
Sure, you bet. Someone asked, what's your platform? Why are you running for the state senate? And I want to keep us number one in business and jobs like we have been. I think you can accomplish that by staying pro-business and pro-taxpayer. So I'm a fiscal conservative who will help out working people and small businesses and be an advocate for working people and small businesses. But also I think we need to attend to our quality of life issues. Those are our healthcare system, make sure that both patients as well as our healthcare providers and institutions are supported by state government, and that we have a good, top-notch healthcare system in Georgia. Number two, public safety, make sure that our streets are safe and we get rid of gangs and drug dealers and heroin dealers and human traffickers and be tough on crime. I'm honored to have the support of District Attorney Danny Porter, and I want to help prosecutors and law enforcement like him down at the state capitol. Number three, our schools. And listen, our Korean American community is awesome in education, and I think by enhancing our educational opportunities in Georgia, that's going to benefit Korean Americans. You look at Peachtree Ridge High School and Parsons Elementary School right next door to it, and Korean Americans are doing a great job there, and I want to be there and support our education system with STEM education, with junior achievement, which they're doing at Northview High School, which gives young students career opportunities to let them see which careers that they would fit into well before they go to college. And then finally, traffic solutions. We're not going to have a good quality of life if we're stuck in traffic all day, and I'm an infrastructure Republican. I believe that we need to attack this traffic problem with our resources and make that a priority year in and year out. Here's an example. Interstate 985 that goes from Atlanta to Gainesville and on up to North Georgia, that became an interstate while 316 was still being built. And that's because the folks in Gainesville and North Georgia year in, year out said we want an interstate where 985 is, whereas 316 it was more of a on again, off again project. So I think we can make transportation solutions if we have somebody in the state senate who's saying year in, year out, let's fix this traffic problem, and I want to do that.
Wonderful. So what kind of support are you going to need, and when is your election date?
Voting starts in 20 or so days. It starts on Monday, October the 15th. If you're in Gwinnett County, you have to drive to Lawrenceville that Monday through Friday, but on Saturday, starting that Saturday, October the 20th, you could vote early at Shorty Howell Park or George Pierce Park for the next 2 weeks. In Fulton County, you can start early voting on October the 15th at the library in Johns Creek. And then, of course, Election Day, if you don't early vote, is Tuesday, November the 6th. I brought some absentee ballot forms today, and you can get an absentee ballot and vote via mail, but be sure to get your ballot early enough so that it gets to the elections office by election day. That's how you do it. I need to get a lot of votes to win, so I need all the help I can get. If you're a Korean American here in the community, I'd be honored to have your support. I'd love to hear what's important to you, and I'd love to earn your support in this race. I'd be honored to get to know you better and earn your support to get down there to the state capitol.
I have one last question.
Sure.
So most of the people attended here are seniors, and I believe they're more comfortable using Korean.
Yes.
And so what is your standpoint about the English-only legislation that's like something that politicians are trying to like pass through?
I'm not comfortable with that. I think we need to change the tone. Asian Americans in general, Korean Americans specifically, are learning English as fast as they possibly can. English is the language of business and of education, and Asian Americans are learning English a lot quicker than I would learn Korean if somebody sent me to Korea. So I think I will educate my fellow state senators to back off and know that Asian Americans and Korean Americans are learning English quickly. And if you have senior citizens, let's help them be able to participate fully in Duluth and Gwinnett County and Johns Creek without having a burden. They're a blessing to their family, to their children and grandchildren, to their community, to their churches, and let's help them participate in our democracy because, believe me, their kids and grandkids are already speaking English, and I'm impressed with that. And I want to change the tone a little bit and educate some of my fellow state senators on that. My mother-in-law is a teacher, and on Saturday mornings for years she volunteered in English as a second language program, and it was full of folks. Mainly, it was at that time mainly Chinese Americans in Johns Creek, and I know there are a lot of Korean Americans who've moved into Johns Creek since that time, but it really was impressive to her how many people came on Saturday mornings in their own free time to learn English, and also how many of her fellow teachers were volunteering to teach English on Saturday mornings. That's what's good about our community. My community, I think, does a good job in welcoming and integrating Asian Americans into the community. I think the state of Georgia, as well as our own community, has a ways to go on that, and I want to help in that regard.
Well, thank you very much for your time, Mr. Matthews.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you. All right.